don't forget, it ain't the first 48 with 60 minutes on them.
Cover the king, best not miss. Even the score now, we need to score now. Back on that wall, when you hear that call, you know it's going down. We play from beginning to ending, you know how we finish. Turn to the bank, gotta handle our business. We need the ball, so it's time to go get it. Play with your heart when you hit, make it feel it. You know I'm with. You come to the bank and get out of line, we sending a blitz. Said who you with? You know I'm with. That purple and black, and when we attack, you know what it is.
You're now locked into Zone 32.
All right, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Zone 32 podcast. We are in the off season. My name is Jake. His name is Drew. His name is Will. His name is BT. We got time to say what's up to people, so do as you feel.
Still not gonna fucking do it.
Nope. That's
That's
fine.
people. Most of
Hey,
them.
Fuck
there you
Raul
go.
Mondesi and Giovanni Gallardo. Anyway,
I have no idea who those people are, but all right.
you know exactly
Anyway.
who they are. They'll show up later in the podcast, and you'll know exactly who the fuck I'm talking about.
Okay, the gay trolls or whatever. That's fine. Whatever. But
Yeah, they have Latin American baseball player names. I don't know what their names actually are, but
Well, there you go. Anyway, it's officially the off season for everybody. The Eagles and the Chiefs played in NOLA. The fake Birds beat the Chiefs 40-22. Kendrick Lamar did a halftime show.
we nailed that fucking game as a podcast. Every single one of us picked the Eagles to win that game 40-22. We picked exactly what was going to happen, down to a fucking T. So credit to us.
We were on the Eagles from the
from
get-go.
fucking day one. We knew the Eagles were going to win that, and as the week went on, we were like, yeah, I think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be an ugly game. We even called it was going to be a 40-6 game, and then Mahomes was going to get some garbage time shit, and people were going to forget how fucking bad he was all game. So again, just pat on the back to everybody here. Like, we are just a cut above everybody else. Do not go back and listen to the old episodes for our score predictions. Just trust me, that's what we did.
Well,
That's what we said.
If only it was another lost episode like you and I did back in 2021, homie. It's all good. though.
we had many lost episodes back then.
Yes, we did. The fucking glitching on Discord was way too funny.
You think I go off the rails now? Back then, it was wild time. Wild fucking times. The amount of times that Max is like, yeah, I'm absolutely not giving that to the public. Like, we can't say these things about people.
I think he actually only withheld one episode, but it was a lot of bad stuff said in that one.
Yeah, it was.
I'll say it now. Tony Lombardi's a racist piece of shit, but that was the gist of my complaint then. I probably made things up about his family or something that I just said out loud, but here's what it is. When you write an article saying you don't want to extend Lamar Jackson because he's friends with Kodak Black, I feel like you deserve some asshole like me going after you. Like, it only seems fair,
Yep.
Everybody, listen. So we're in a new world.
Yes.
It's been 3 weeks. The First Amendment has been reaffirmed. So, you can express opinions for sure. We certainly can't make affirmative statements about someone.
I am thrilled that stupid people have platforms to say stupid things so that I have something to make fun of.
Yeah, of course. Once they say it, then you can do whatever you want. Yeah,
right.
Of course.
I don't want him deplatformed. I want him to continue to put, and that goes to anybody who has dumb opinions, whether you're like a former ballerina that makes up arbitrary quarterback rankings, or your parents funded a Snapchat account that you've turned into a media empire. Like, if you say dumb things, please continue to put them out in public, because it gives me something to make fun of. Or, if you're a inbred fuck on the Canadian border and you want to tweet me 37 million times about Josh Allen being MVP, I welcome you to do it, because every once in a while I'm just going to respond to one of them and it's going to be funny. Like, this is, again, free speech. Trump's America. I'm allowed to make fun of you for you saying dumb things. No more of this kid glove bullshit.
Agreed. 100%.
Oh, and back to the Super Bowl. I realized during that game, we've been thinking about football all wrong. Like as a podcast and as like a society, football is so fucking simple. It is win the game in the trenches. You need to be able to block the opposing team's pass rush with 5 guys effectively in basically every play, and you need to be able to get pressure with 4 guys. And then the game just becomes so fucking easy. I mean, Jalen Hurts won a fucking Super Bowl. Will and I have hated him forever. Not hated him, but just think he sucks. And he looked
okay. Look, I like the guy. I think he's a fucking. I mean, he succeeds. He finds a way, but I think he overcomes his own shortcomings.
He looks like the guy from fucking Criminal Minds, and it bothers me. Shamar,
he does.
Johnson. Yeah.
Oh my
so
God.
now every time I fucking see him, I'm like, oh, I liked Criminal Minds. What happened to that show? And then like
VD has finally joined us.
Oh yeah, VD.
I'm gonna send VD the link.
Let's bring him in. A resident Chiefs fan.
Oh no,
Yeah, might as well.
VD's pushing that he's an Eagles fan now. Wasn't a lot.
That's right. He did. He did post that. I saw that.
I don't want to say why, because like I don't know if it's out there. It's not out there. I'm not gonna be the one to say it on this airwave first, but just fucking disgusting behavior by him. Just take your fucking losses, VD. Like it was bad.
VD, check the group chat. I sent you the link. I'd like you to come on and talk about the Chiefs' big win.
The rest of the poor world is going to be getting all those Super Bowl shirts.
Yeah, the 3-peat shirts. Fucking,
My favorite tweet I've seen so far is
African country.
Children in Africa are going to be very confused about the Chiefs 3-peat when their previous 2 shirts say
Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah, Eagles and 49ers.
Yeah.
And listen, I wanted the fucking Chiefs to win.
See,
I wanted the Chiefs to win.
The funniest part about this was the year that I was finally like, it doesn't matter what I want. Like the Chiefs they're fucking inevitable. They're gonna win. And then this is the fucking year that they just completely shit down their leg.
It was a fucking embarrassment what happened. on Sunday.
Welcome, VD.
Visionless Day.
Hold on, let me
There he
take
is.
off my identifiable place uniform real quick. I'll be right back. I'll be right there.
VD works for a famous bear hunting company. He fights bears in the wild very often.
He's at risk of being fired because he's so bad at fighting bears. He just keeps getting fucking murdered by them.
They frequently beat him, but
Not bears. I got little 3-legged crippled dogs that bite people. Little cripple boy.
See, this is a fucking ploy by VD. He's like,
Look at this little cripple dog.
He's like, they're gonna make fun of me if I show cute dogs on air. Fucking
That dog is cute as fuck.
Yeah, he bites
dog is
people.
very cute.
So VD.
What? Hit me with your allegations.
When did you? Well, I mean, I know why you're claiming Eagles. I'm not going to be the one to say it out loud, but just because I don't know if it's out there or not. I don't want to.
Yeah, it's out there.
Okay, so I mean, your grandfather was Dick Vermeil, so like you're just going to claim allegiance to any team that he coached.
Listen, I think it should count as a half a ring. I don't think that's that crazy
I think the fucking problem is that the Chiefs were so bad, like
terrible,
such a bad showing that I don't know if you can just switch at halftime like that.
Listen,
like if you said
winning,
before the game,
and I think you're a pretty prominent voice in Chiefs Twitter, so I don't know that you can just say, you know what, I'm good. I'm gonna play the Dick Vermeil card today.
Okay, just edit this part out of the podcast. Just edit this part out.
It's live, so
Just edit this part out. But I'm not really an Eagles fan. I'll bring down the fourth wall there. That was the worst. That was the worst game I've ever watched. I turned it off at halftime. I disagree with Drew. Yep. I did not watch that bullshit. I would prefer maybe if we get like, I don't know, some, give me some Zach Bryan at halftime.
It was a 10 out of 10 moment to have Kendrick Lamar look at the camera and say Drake and make the hand motion.
I'm trolling. I'm trolling. I'm not a huge Kendrick fan, but I hate Drake, so I therefore am a huge Kendrick fan.
Everybody's saying A minor in unison was like probably the greatest halftime show, like individual halftime show moment.
Yeah, and it's like that with a halftime show that good, like why even talk about the game? That's kind of my feeling.
Well, and I mean, really, the game was over by halftime anyway. So
Yeah, it's like why talk about the game? Honestly,
yeah, they really should have just called the rest of that game because other than Mahomes stat padding at the end, there really wasn't much that happened after that. I mean, you let
Yeah.
a white guy,
Hold on. I have
you let
a quick question.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's for BT actually. Which time zone are you in, BT?
I am in Eastern.
Okay. All right. I was gonna say because this would have been a landmark moment when
Come here,
we
Nimbus.
had
All
equal
three time
amounts of Western time zone, but you two still are living in fake time. Basically,
Yeah.
live on fucking
fake time,
Pluto.
not real. Yeah, it was also
Jake,
like,
were you embarrassed that your co-host didn't know about Wonder Chosen and were slandering that amazing clip?
Wasn't slandering.
I've already know that they know nothing about Wonder Shows. You remember one I used to have the background in the background?
That sounds like a show that Hitler
Chauncey
invented,
and them in
just
the
to be
back.
clear.
that's
You
not
could
even-
ask them
It
as soon
obviously
as
is not.
as soon as they were slandering that clip. I DM'd them. I said, "That's Wonder Shows," and I bet your lovely co-host Jake knows all about Wonder Shows.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I was correct.
Yep,
Second you said
we
the
spoke
name-
about that in the non-problematic men chat. We did.
Yeah.
Second you said the name, I was like, oh yeah, Jake's brought that up on air before. After talks about some guy like eating children or some shit, but
Yeah.
whatever
Hey,
satanic nonsense he's got going on. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that was the worst Super Bowl I've ever watched. I don't think that there could possibly have been a worse game, like from an entertainment standpoint. It was
No, that Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Was it
Yeah,
the
that one
Rams?
was rough.
That
Yeah,
was
the
a
13-3
terrible
game.
at
Or
least
no,
it was
Bengals. Who was it? Bengals, Rams.
no, because that came down to the last play.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was
Wasn't it
thinking Seahawks
13-10 or
Broncos?
something?
No, that was the Patriots Rams that you're thinking of.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was really bad.
Jared Goff had some dumb shit pass to Cook that got broken up.
I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
Tom Brady, the Patriots offense didn't score a touchdown.
They
Yeah,
did.
people forget.
Yeah, they did. It
Sonny
was,
Michel. There's a handoff.
Okay,
Yeah.
he didn't throw a touchdown.
I mean, Tom Brady doesn't have a career-defining touchdown in any any playoff game. Nobody ever wants to talk about that, but it's always somebody else scoring. It's always somebody else making the big play for him. He's
James
just like
White should have been MVP in that Atlanta game, right? Didn't he have 18 catches or something crazy like that?
and he punched in the game-winning
Come on.
touchdown in overtime. The previous ones were won by Adam Vinatieri. You had the Malcolm Butler pick. I mean,
Mhm.
against when he played Mahomes the first time when he was on the fucking Bucks, like that was the Bucks defensive line just killed Mahomes. So like
Yeah,
Brady
we were missing
no.
three. We were missing three starts. That game was over before it started.
Yeah,
Pretty
I mean,
similar to this game. Turns out your offensive line has to be good.
That's
Yep.
what I was saying before. It's shocking how, we play all these like mental gymnastics online, and it's like, oh, this guy's a big deal, and he's going to be the difference maker. It really comes down to your four guys on defense, and if they can get to the quarterback without sending extra pressure, and if your 5 offensive linemen can figure out how to block them without
Yeah,
sending
well,
an extra blocker.
It was
Yeah,
Brady's kryptonite too. Was when Spags beat him, the Giants beat him. It was just if you can get pressure with 4, it's very, very difficult to lose a
Yeah.
game. Like
Well, and
consistent pressure.
Well, and the difference I think between like Brady, it's obvious. Brady wants to stand in the pocket and throw the ball. Mahomes is good when he gets flushed from the pocket, but they were getting to him so quickly that there was he didn't move the pocket, he didn't break the pocket. It was just like they were on him. If he didn't get the ball out, then he was dead every fucking time.
Well, and
Yeah.
Kelsey sucked. I mean, he's not the same guy. He hasn't been all year. Marquise Brown
There's this narrative on Chiefs Twitter where people are saying they should cut Travis Kelce, and it's like half the Chiefs kingdom is like fuck Travis, like they've turned on him completely, which I find a little bit crazy.
I get the logic behind it is that you're paying for, the best
but tight ends are cheap. Tight ends are cheap, and he's not even making the most money. Like tight ends are nothing.
His cap hit in 2025 was like 19.8 million. So it's a huge cap hit for the position.
It's the same thing. I want Mark Andrews.
But that's an easy fix. You don't
Fix.
cut him. You don't cut him.
Tight ends are like the best deal in the NFL.
I don't think he's and this talk of him retiring is crazy. He's not retiring.
He's been very clear he's going to finish his contract. So if we won, he might have retired.
That's
but
what I was thinking, is that he was going to you guys were going to win. He was going to get like the game-winning touchdown catch, and then he was going to propose to Taylor Swift and then retire.
Yeah.
But
he's too classy for that kind of proposal, to be honest.
I don't think he would do that either,
good.
and I don't think she would want that either.
Hell no.
There's a camera on her at all times of her entire life. I think she would. Yeah, no shit, but I think.
Are we gonna have the Abigail discussion? Is this what we're gonna fucking do?
No, I'm just saying. I think that particular moment, I think she'd prefer to be private.
Absolutely not. She has been born, raised, and bred for her entire life to play out in front of a fucking camera. Like, she lives for that shit. Her getting booed, she pretended to be all shocked and like offended by it, but she loved every fucking second of that because she knew every single person in that stadium knew who she was. So,
well, everybody knew who she was, but everybody was looking at her. That's the big thing.
And plus, she knows when it comes to the kingdom, she's not even the main, everybody knows Brittany, Queen Brit is the queen and Tay is the princess. So she needs to know her role a little bit,
Yeah, stop hanging out with that fucking Afro chick, Ice Spice, whatever the fuck her name is, the weird hair.
Ice Spice.
Yeah, like get some fucking normal friends. Hang out with your
Go potty
from high school, or do something else. Start bringing these weird ass famous people around.
All right, and any last Chiefs questions before I have to get back to my duties here?
Are you embarrassed by the Chiefs still having an after party?
No, because we did make history. First team to ever make it to 3 Super Bowls, so that's history. Listen.
The Bills made it to 4 in a row, so no, you're not the first team.
For the chance to three-peat, first ever make it to 3 with a chance to three-peat.
Yeah, but then you lost. That's the lamest. And then you threw a party. You had fucking one of the washed-up Migos there and Cardi B. It was a whole shit show. It was pretty.
Only two Migos left, right?
Listen, the fellas work hard. We don't get like an extended off season like you guys. So, we play our full season pretty much every year.
You got to find your next Hollywood Brown somewhere.
Yeah, you got to find.
Yeah, well, I saw Ramey saying he wants Wood back in purple.
I threatened. Ramey,
yeah, that's retarded.
I threatened to murder.
That's fully retarded.
Ramey doesn't like bacon.
Plus, you already have your wide receiver 1. You already got Bateman, so it's like, why do you need Hollywood?
You know what I'm a little bit nervous about? Okay, so I'm gonna give you a little scenario here. We traded Orlando Brown to the Chiefs, and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl.
You think of Ronnie Stanley?
Ronnie Stanley is a free agent. The Chiefs obviously need to upgrade on the offensive line. I don't want the Chiefs to sign him. I feel like it's like their little like cheat code to a Super Bowl.
So, as a Chiefs fan, would you rather sign Ronnie Stanley or re-sign Trey Smith?
Unfortunately, I've been coming to grasp with that Trey Smith is probably going to be gone. Unless they, we have to also pay Nick Bolton, so we have some things to rearrange there. But I think this Super Bowl
and cap room's not something you have a whole lot of. I mean,
you can make
some restructures and create some, but it's not great.
We had 2 All-Pro interior line offensive linemen this year, and if your tackles suck, it just doesn't matter. So I think you have to prioritize tackles. Veach really fucking choked with signing Juwan Taylor. He's a fucking bum. So we got a lot of work to do on the offensive line, but this is exactly what happened with Tampa, and then we went on a little dynastic run. So Veach will be in the lab. We'll fucking rework. We need to get back to being an explosive offense. This was a good wake-up call.
Will Patrick Mahomes Sr. getting his face beat in by John Rocker affect the Chiefs next year?
Listen, anybody who hates on Patrick Mahomes Sr. is a clown. Like, he's the coolest guy ever.
Mothers Against Drunk Driving is not a big fan of Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Driving drunk is not that bad if you don't crash. If you crash, go ahead and make all the fun of him you want. But if you don't crash, it's like big deal.
I want to make it clear, this is not a sanctioned member of the podcast saying that. This is a rogue guest.
What is it with
he got the link from Trippy must have sent it to him. Wasn't me.
What is it with the Chiefs and unsafe driving? You got Rashee Rice, Britt Reed, and now you got.
Listen, you guys had your fair share of car accidents. Wasn't Mark Andrews in a car accident? You had a couple car accidents. You had more car accidents
at like 10 a.m. We're talking about Rashee Rice, basically he like set off a dirty bomb in the middle of the fucking highway in Dallas.
No one even got hurt. Like, why are we making a big deal? No one even got hurt. You never speed.
Okay. What about Britt Reed? Yeah.
5-year-old girl. Her life will never be the same because that asshole can't drive sober.
Listen, mistakes happen. He's not even a player. He's not even on the active staff.
He was.
Andy Reid. 3 of his 5 kids were great.
Fucking house arrest.
Let's say
his 5 kids were great.
Let's say you went to 5 Super Bowls and you won 3. Are you considering that a success? I am.
Did you hear
60%?
Quote to Patrick Mahomes saying, like, 3 kids is cool, but, like, talk to me when you have 4 or 5? And I'm like,
I did hear that, and I did chuckle.
One of your kids is dead, and one of the other ones in jail, like, and then you have 3 normal ones. I don't know if that's.
I also will say that overdosing on heroin, I think that's cool. There is nothing wrong with that. Lots of cool people have overdosed on heroin.
This guy's not on the podcast. He hacked the podcast. I don't know how he got on here.
I don't even think VD understands why that could get us in a lot of trouble.
Oh, VD just booked it.
Oh, that was great. I don't. There's no shot he knew the context of that or why that's going to be clipped and used against us in the future. But he was talking about, I don't even know what the Reed kid's name was who overdosed on heroin. So, all right. So it's good to hear from despondent Chiefs correspondent, Visionless Dave, on how terrible that game was for the Chiefs. I do wish that people would stop dick riding Howie Roseman after that game, just for. I don't know, my own fucking sanity. Like, they won that game because they drafted Jalen Carter because he killed somebody in college and he fell that far. And they had a great offensive line. Like, it wasn't like that he went and picked up Jahan Dotson and, all these other guys that get hyped up as his signings, or Zach Bond.
All right, yeah. So here's the thing. Howie Roseman is willing to overlook these red flags, and we're not. And the difference is because of Ray Rice. He is basically set the scouting department back. They have this wall. They have like a hard line in the sand.
Can I address this, Ray Rice? I keep seeing this all over Twitter. It's fucking driving me up a goddamn wall. Okay, Ray Rice beat the fuck out of his wife in an elevator in February. Okay, it was shortly after the Super Bowl. Knocked her the fuck out in an elevator. Whatever, got arrested for it. So it was known by all of society after it happened, okay? It took the NFL until July to suspend him for 2 games. Everybody was fine with that. Ray Rice was coming back to the Ravens in week 3 after that, knowing that he beat up his wife and got arrested for it. And the only reason that Ray Rice got cut is because that fucking casino went bankrupt and some dickbag security guard sold the video to TMZ, okay? The Ravens had no issue with him beating his wife. I know that everybody loves to push this narrative that, they try to act like they're holier than thou. The reason why they got embarrassed by that situation, the reason why they don't want to be outwardly linked to people with that is because what a fucking PR nightmare it was that they backed their guy who was then on video fucking cold cocking his wife in a fucking elevator. So I hate this nonsense of we only draft choir boys and, we don't want people with like filmed incidents out there. The reason why we didn't want Jalen Carter is because there's a video of a fucking mangled car and a dead human in it, and he was responsible for it. But if there was no video of it, he could be a Raven. If you committed a crime and it's not on video, I think you're sorry.
I agree with you but to an extent. Here's the problem: the Ravens are held to a different standard than everyone else because Ray Rice was on their team.
If they were held to a different standard, Justin Tucker would be on the fucking streets right now.
But he is the standard. So that Ray Rice thing is the standard. Okay, so Ray Rice happened, right? So for everyone else, the standard is, oh wow, look at this video. This guy's doing something bad. But for us, it's they used to have Ray Rice, and he's the guy who everyone knows, punches what. So like. I don't know.
The Bengals drafted.
It's just they have to be the Ravens have to be where everyone else. Okay, they're like, here's our line. We can't do this. The Ravens have to go another like 2 steps further because the scrutiny of a pick for a guy who has any kind of like negative shit in his background, especially domestic violence. And to be very clear, no one on this fucking podcast endorses that shit.
No,
fuck that.
If you're going to be a criminal and you're like committing like drug offenses or something, I don't really fucking care. But if you're punching women, like, go the fuck away.
Yeah, fuck you.
What I'm saying though is that like we are putting that scrutiny on the Ravens. Like the Ravens could just fucking draft a guy with
absolutely,
red flags
but
and ignore
it's
the
a
media
public
shitstorm.
reaction thing.
Okay,
Totally.
but they have completely ignored the Tucker blowback. I mean, you got a 2-line statement from fucking, the social media team. Like,
They got Goodell. Goodell's running cover for them.
Right, but I'm saying that if a player goes into the draft with a known issue and the NFL is not saying don't draft this guy, he's a problem, and he's available to draft and he's not suspended or anything, they can simply just draft him and ignore the Baltimore Banner story that's going to come out and ignore the Baltimore Sun story and ignore the multitude of, fucking talking heads that are going to say something and just carry on with their days like nothing happened. So I feel like this whole choir boy shit is like overblown. The Ravens don't want to deal with the PR. It doesn't mean that they can't deal with the PR. It's a choice that they make that they don't want to be put in that situation. They very well could draft guys like that, and I don't think it would be an issue. I mean, especially with social media the way it is, there's going to be a bigger story like next week, that's going to drown that out. Nobody remembers that Jalen Carter killed somebody in college.
The Super Bowl just happened after all that came out. So, like, there's really nobody talking about it. But, I mean, like, there's a lot of Ravens fans who want to see something happen.
Yeah.
They want to see a resolution.
I don't want him on the fucking team.
Right,
but
exactly. Like, okay, listen. For people like me and you, I'm just going to, like, be real blunt about this. For people like me and you, I just want a resolution to the situation. And, like, all right, let's, like, and it's not a big, like, as far as the roster is concerned, you can go get a new kicker very easily and very cheaply. It's not like a fucking
dork who kicks the ball. I don't really
not a cost issue, but
no.
For women who are fans of the team are looking for the Ravens to come out and make a very, like, obvious and clear statement, and it hasn't happened. So
no, so
that's a problem to me.
But that's my point, is that they haven't come out and made an obvious and clear statement about it, and nobody's publicly talking about that. I mean, people may harbor those feelings inside. I think you should have told them to get the fuck off your team the second that Banner story dropped. I mean, it also matched a whole lot of shit that we had heard before. So, like, I was more apt to believe it. So I understand that maybe they want to do some research on their own, but, like, he should no longer be a member of the Baltimore Ravens. And he's still fucking here. So, if they want to play this game of we only draft high character guys, like, fuck you. You got Justin Tucker sitting on your fucking roster. Go get me some asshole who, like, I don't know, beat the fuck out of his classmate or something like that. Or, went on a joyride on campus and crashed his fucking car, because you've now thrown morality completely out the fucking window. You can't sit here and tell me that some kid who got a DUI when he was 17 is a horrible person and you can't draft him, but you have this fucking monster who's been abusing women for 6 years on the roster. You've now lost all credibility in that fight. So until you cut Justin Tucker, I don't want to hear any of this shit about how you're only going to draft choir boys. Like, it's done. You've killed the image. The Ray Rice shit is dead. You are now willing to sustain the media shitstorm for a fucking serial predator. So fucking go get me somebody who's going to, might be a little rough around the edges, might be an asshole, but he's going to get to the quarterback every play. Go get me I don't know, fucking diva wide receiver who, like, shoots himself in the leg in the club like Plaxico Burress, but is going to score fucking touchdowns when it matters. You know what I mean? Like, this allure of the Ravens being a high moral compass franchise is dead as long as Justin Tucker's on the roster. So go have at it. Go get me a fucking, asshole who's going to score or contribute to the team.
Agreed.
Or cut Justin Tucker.
And I think the bar that they've set after the Ray Rice thing, and, like, in the wake of all that, we need to adjust that. Like, there's a lot of like overcompensation that has happened with, staying away from certain players over the years. And that's, like, that happens at the college level, at the pro level, in every sport. When some controversy happens, you have to stay away from anybody who might, conjure any sort of connection to whatever issue there was. But at this point, it's been 12 years, 13 years since all this happened. So like, okay, listen, domestic violence is a non-starter.
Tyreek Hill's a
we
fucking
cannot let
asshole.
that.
Don't
We
sign
can't
him.
let that dictate how we draft guys who have like minor, like minor criminal issues, like trespassing or fucking, shoplifting, shit like that. Like if they have those little things on their past record, who gives a fuck about that? If a guy's beating up his wife or his girlfriend, by all means, or any woman, no place on the team. If they're sexually abusing or assaulting or misconduct or whatever the fuck, there's a lot of different, like there's a spectrum of terms for this. If that is the case, note they don't have a place here. But when we're talking about guys who have questionable morals and it's something stupid, teenage shit, a product of their environment, opportunism, things like that, who gives a fuck, man? These guys need an opportunity. So,
okay, so Tyreek Hill.
I'm tired of every guy with something that they claim is a character issue. Fuck that, man. We got to narrow the scope.
So I got an example here. So Tyreek Hill's a fucking asshole. I want no part of Tyreek Hill in Baltimore, right? Okay? Like, that guy has a clear pattern of beating women and beating children. He can go fuck himself. Jack Jones, the kid who brought the loaded gun on a plane because he's a moron, like, he's good at football, so sign him. He's a moron.
Yeah,
but
that's what I'm talking about.
Right.
I want good football players as long as they don't beat women or commit sexual crimes. Then bring them. I don't give a fuck if they rob the CVS.
Can we get this retard off the screen? Like, in all honesty, like, what does he contribute to the podcast other than like creepy sexual comments? I mean, what are we doing here? Like, we're gonna just let Raul Jimenez or whatever the fuck his last name was just run wild in the comment section?
It is really funny. The names that you came up with before the podcast were basically just, it was two different people, but it was this guy's name, Raul Gallardo. You said Raul Mondesi and Giovanni Gallardo.
You don't remember Giovanni Gallardo? He used to pitch for
I do.
Brewers. Yeah.
No, I remember both. I'm saying I remember both those names. You said them both because they're both baseball players, but they're just his name.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly closeted homosexual that's got some deep issues going on in his life, and he feels the need to come on the Zone 32 stream. He only shows up when I tweet the YouTube link, so I'm positive it's some retard who follows me. God only knows who.
100%.
God only knows which one it is. Fucking Killer Kowalski, Fez, BA. I don't know which one of you assholes, but like, get some help. Like, go see a therapist.
My money's on the Canadian.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, there's two of them that were Canadians that I named, so that doesn't narrow it down. But I was gonna say betterhelp.com/zone32. You'll get 32% off your counseling sessions.
Yeah, and hey, listen, if that doesn't work, make sure you call and take it up with a manager.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you say that you say Jake sent you, and you get another 10% off too. And then if they don't know who Jake is, just direct them to his Twitter, and then they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Before I got fucking sidetracked by being sexually harassed for the 14th week in a row. There's women in sports who complain about the just obscene sexual harassment that they receive, and that's all they talk about. I just mention it like for 5 seconds on the podcast, call the guy a loser, and I move on with my life. So, maybe take notes, ladies. But this is how you do it. You just fucking shame them until they go away.
And he's still doing it in the comments.
Yeah, but he's not on the screen, and I'm not looking at the comments. I don't give a shit. How is sexual harassment real? Ha ha ha! Close your eyes. That's what I'm doing. Taking the Tyler the Creator approach to this shit.
Sexual harassment panda, homie.
Yeah. Maybe this asshole should spend some time on fucking Misfit Mascot Island, or whatever the fuck that was called.
Drew saying,
"That's right."
I had to cut out some words because I'm not allowed to say them.
Ha ha ha! You just said the laugh.
Oh well, I don't know. I'm not gonna laugh. I can't laugh like Tyler the Creator. It's not not appropriate for this. Ha ha ha! Do we want Deebo Samuel? Thinking just random shit pop into my head here.
I do.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
So,
physical, run after the catch.
I think Adam Schefter is basically stealing my tweets and reporting them as fact. The Ravens would be interested in him. when his name got floated out there as like a guy who requested a trade, he just screams Raven. He's a run blocking guy.
100%. Yeah.
He's a gadget guy. He's somebody we've been linked to for about 3 years now because it's always been, 49ers need money and get rid of Deebo Samuel and Brandon, Ayuk and blah, 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 blah. And he's got diminished value because he's not been as good the last couple of years. So that just seems like a Raven to me. And I know that pisses people off, but that's how we operate as a franchise.
All right. Hey,
You know,
BT, put up that comment, the last one. I don't care about this. So my thing about Deebo, no, not that one, this one. Press coverage. I don't care. Deebo, when he's not out of shape, which he was this season, so take that, for what it is. I feel like Deebo, if he were to be traded to a team he wanted to be on, with the quarterback he wanted to be with, he would get. Oh boy, I'm not going to tell you what. So
if you get me,
Deebo, if you put Deebo on the Ravens, I think kind of reinvigorates him. He wants to be there, and I feel like the Ravens, like Vegas believes this. The Ravens are the second most likely team to win the Super Bowl next year.
If you give me any wide receiver in the NFL not named like Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, or CeeDee Lamb, I could tell you some weakness they have. And it doesn't mean that they're a bad player that I don't want them. Like, you're talking about such a specific thing of not being able to get off press coverage. So don't fucking line them up in a situation where press coverage is going to come into play. He's a weapon to have. And
he's a weapon. That's the key word. He's a weapon.
The reason I can talk myself into it is that I don't like how much we use Zay Flowers in the screen game and the end around shit. And, I feel like you take away from things that Zay Flowers can do really well by limiting him and getting him a lot of touches in those situations. If you give those touches to Deebo, you're opening shit up for Zay down the field. And he's going to be, score a lot more touchdowns, be a lot bigger weapon for you. I would look at it like a Waddle and Hill situation in Miami of, Waddle's the guy that does the chain moving and the heavy lifting on the short passes, and it frees Tyreek Hill up to just run down the middle of the field untouched and, use his speed. So that's why I would want Deebo personally.
And Deebo is a weapon. Like he's a weapon in the short and intermediate game. He will catch passes, and he's a yak guy, so like he will break tackles. He's kind of like a running back. You can line him up in the backfield. You can design plays for him, but behind the line of scrimmage. So I think he fits because he's like a bridge between what Lamar and Derrick Henry do and what Zay and Bateman and the tight ends do. So,
and I just saw red because I saw a fucking comment put up on the screen. Was it suggesting we sign Hollywood Brown?
He said he would take Hollywood Brown over Deebo Samuel.
Brandon, hold on. He said, I would rather go get Cooper Kupp or even Hollywood Brown. But number one, Cooper Kupp, it's a much different situation of like trading and bringing on contract, bringing on cap. And then Hollywood Brown, why the fuck do we need him?
Okay.
Talking about someone who can't get off of press coverage.
He's a smaller, less effective Rashad Bateman at this point.
Who even cares about what Hollywood Brown does on the field? Just think about it this way. This guy was here for 3 years, okay? All he did was fucking complain about how many targets he got. He asked to be traded. While he was here, he was a bad influence on Lamar. And the reason why, going back to the beginning of the episode, the reason why people like Tony Lombardi were talking about, the Ravens have questions on Lamar's diet, Lamar's sleeping habits, Lamar showing up on time, you get rid of Hollywood Brown and all those things go away. I'm not a fucking genius, but, maybe Hollywood Brown was the fucking problem there. I know he was
by the way, he went to fucking Arizona. Did they go to the playoffs the entire time he was there?
Nope.
And
he went to Kansas City. He went to the Super Bowl because he was out the entire season. Then they went to the Super Bowl and they got fucking embarrassed.
The reason why anybody has any positive thoughts left about Hollywood Brown is because they hated Greg Roman so much. Greg Roman is the only reason that people have this stupid fucking fantasy of bringing Hollywood Brown back and him being a good wide receiver here.
And
He's
by the
fucking
way,
not.
his most productive season is still here in Baltimore with Greg Roman.
When we force-fed him fucking targets and he didn't do shit with them.
Right.
He's selfish. He's afraid of contact. He doesn't make contested catches. He's not good. I want no fucking part of Hollywood Brown being here. If you want Hollywood Brown here, it's either because you just have this nostalgic kink and you're like, oh, this guy played for the Ravens, so I fucking want him back, and you don't put any thought into it, or you just truly don't understand how fucking bad he was at football. I'm like, no, I guess disrespect intended. He's a fucking, like little pansy midget, but he doesn't play the game like a Raven. He's not a fucking Raven. He's just
No, he's not.
He's a loser. I want no fucking part of him here. You wanted to go to fucking Arizona so you could go play video games with your midget friend, and that didn't fucking work out. So then you go ring chase with the fucking Chiefs. They've won 2 Super Bowls in a fucking row. Your ass shows up, and all of a sudden they don't fucking win. Like, I don't want that around.
Not just that. They got fucking embarrassed in front of 130 million people.
I mean, he should have been wide receiver 2 on their team. They had to go get, DeAndre Hopkins because Hollywood Brown got hurt. And Rashee Rice is, fucking karma for causing a 40-car pileup, or the fuck his issue was. I don't understand the Hollywood Brown shit. It fucking pisses me off. Everybody fucking, acts like he's the greatest thing in the world. Fuck him. I want him nowhere near here. I hate him more than I hate Calais Campbell, which is a lot. So
this time last year, I was saying I would take Hollywood Brown to replace Bateman in the offense, and now Bateman this past year has proven like his place in the offense is a lot different than
you were
than
also saying that
Brown.
because you didn't like Rashad Bateman as a person, so that's like you were that was like a Hitler versus Stalin situation.
Listen,
there was no way.
I'll ignore. I don't care. I don't give a fuck if I like you as a person. If you are putting up touchdowns and yards and catches, I don't give a fuck if that's your job. Before last year, he wasn't doing that. He was terrible. So
you could focus on him being a fucking annoying human being, selling your fucking $120 gym pennies, and then going high as fuck on Radio Row talking about, everybody knows that the refs help out the Chiefs. How'd that fucking work out for you, Rashad? How'd that fucking age, you clown? Shut the fuck up and stay off the fucking camera.
What I'm saying is, you could easily search my tweets and find a tweet where I said that I'd take Hollywood over Bateman. That's last year before this season that Bateman just proved, his place, his role is in this offense, which I'm not saying indispensable, but it's valuable. We have him on a very, team-friendly arrangement. So
shout out his agent.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm happy. I'm happy about that sequence of events. But now there's no place for Hollywood Brown on this team. You think that Hollywood Brown fits in on this team with 5'10" Zay Flowers and 6 foot maybe Rashad Bateman?
Where the fuck is Grant?
We need a big, and Stephon Diggs is a non-starter. No, because we have an established wide receiver 1. We have Bateman fits in perfectly as wide receiver 2, but there's really no difference in our offense between wide receiver 2 and 3 if you have a guy at wide receiver 3 who actually can contribute. So
plus
get
Diggs is
someone.
Coming off the ACL tear too, so you don't know when he's going to be back to being
and
himself.
he's gonna want way too much money. Like he could go somewhere and be wide receiver 1 somewhere. It's a stupid gamble for us to pay him the money he is worth, just market value. That doesn't fit into what we need from a wide receiver.
And he's clearly
Stephon Diggs is not happening. Cooper Kupp's not happening. Debo might happen because it might cost us a 4th or a 5th round pick.
I could see Kupp happening too, but Debo is way easier to make happen than Kupp. But I would put those two as if we're going to make a wide receiver move, those are the 2 guys. Again, Ravens have raved about Cooper Kupp. There's a whole story that came out that if he fell 3 more picks, they were going to draft him or whatever. And again, the Rams are clearly motivated to move on from him, so maybe that makes the cap situation of it all easier to resolve. I don't really know. But I would not be stunned if we got Cooper Kupp. I don't think it's highly likely. like 25% chance. I would say it's like 50-50 we get Debo Samuel. Like that just seems like a
No, I
Ravens
think
move.
as far as like a trade's concerned, Debo is I think of Cooper Cup and Debo is way ahead.
Yeah, twice
I mean,
as likely, I would say.
yeah,
You know.
right. I think I would. I don't know who I'd prefer because it's very different.
Well, I think both
the
guys.
outcomes.
I think both guys give you. They improve the offense. They do it in different ways, but they are guys that you can see fitting in here in different ways. If we want to essentially run it back with the same style of offense we did last year, Cooper Kupp's the better fit because he gives you, what Nelson Aguilar couldn't, or what, I don't know, fucking Steve Sims, whoever the fuck you were trotting out there, couldn't. And if you bring in Debo, you're adding a whole new wrinkle to the offense in a good way. So,
yeah.
I mean, either way, it's
I look at it from a little bit of a different angle. If we trade or cut Mark Andrews, because there's a lot of cap savings there, it's like $11 million. So we need that money. I feel like Cooper Kupp replaces a lot of what Mark Andrews takes away if we were to trade or cut him. So Cooper Kupp can pick up the slack on a lot of those things because a lot of what Mark Andrews brings to the table, he's not a great blocker, but he is a guy who finds space and gets a lot of kind of junk catches, but valuable to us, like that, they get us 2-3 yards, 4 yards. Yeah, exactly. So Cooper Kupp does fill kind of right into that, even though he's a wide receiver, it's not the same position. Because, Mark Andrews' role in this offense is essentially a wide receiver.
And a red zone target.
Yeah. So Cooper Kupp, I think, if Mark Andrews does get dealt in one way or another, Cooper Kupp is a great, I would say even an upgrade. But Debo, like you said, what he brings to the offense, assuming he's motivated and in shape and everything else, what he brings to the offense, it just makes the offense more dynamic than it already is, which is like it's the number one offense in football. It's because it is so dynamic, it's so balanced. So bring a guy in who you can line up as a running back or a slot receiver or an outside receiver, that's a huge fucking asset. So I'm not going to complain either way.
I also don't want to come off as like a Debo stan. The fucking Debo's fat now people are retarded.
It's a James Harden thing. Remember when James Harden, the day before he got traded, he look at how fat he is. Then he showed up in Philly the next day.
If you take a fucking picture of anybody from the side while they're kind of slumped over and not really sucking it in or having good posture, they're gonna look fucking fat. I hate to break it to you people, but Debo Samuel is a better athlete than anybody who's called him fat online. So, except for maybe that Canadian guy who Will's afraid to race, but
he's an elite straight line runner. Yeah.
Every once in a while, old tweets get brought to my attention that just make me laugh to myself of the shit that we've encountered online. I don't know if we have anything. Oh, holy fuck! We haven't recorded since MVP came out.
Yeah, we have. Oh, I know we haven't. You're right. The MVP, fucking Josh Allen.
Okay, so
great moderator we got here. Doesn't even know what is.
I forgot about that. For some reason, I thought we already talked about it, but nope, that was in the chat.
I'm gonna say some stuff, and then we can go from there. I don't particularly care that Josh Allen won the MVP. I'm not upset that he won. He is a very good quarterback. He put up very good stats this year. If you want to say that they were MVP caliber stats, just in a vacuum by themselves, looking at his numbers, I am totally okay with that. What bothers me about him winning MVP is that 7, 8, 6, I don't remember 9, I don't remember what the fucking number was, switched from Lamar having, being first team all pro to Josh Allen being the MVP based on this value that he brings to the team. So Emmanuel Acho spelled out his criteria. I appreciate that he did it because he was the most transparent of all of them. And I don't agree with.
There we go.
No, I don't.
Drew tickling his buddy's balls.
I don't agree with the conclusion that he came to, because what he said, MVP to him is who you're playing with and who you're playing against. And so to me, that means it's Patrick Mahomes, because he lost one game with a worse supporting cast. So whatever. Like, at least he spelled out what his fucking criteria was. You had Orlovsky kind of half say the same thing. And then you had that retard from The Ringer say that, like, career arc and media narratives played into it. You had some other dumb fuck, vote Lamar fourth place. Like, what are we doing here? It has completely devalued the MVP award in general by not having Lamar Jackson win it after he was voted first team All-Pro, when that hasn't happened since the 80s. So I'm not mad at Josh Allen for winning MVP. I don't think that he's the worst MVP pick, but you can't sit here and tell me that he had a better season than Lamar Jackson.
Right.
And that's where I'm like,
well,
here's
the big problem. Like you said, the first problem is anybody who voted Lamar Jackson first team All-Pro as the quarterback and then voted for the second team All-Pro quarterback to be the MVP, like that's
a weird move.
Insanely stupid. The logic behind that, like when they try and explain it, then they start to in bullshit, like Drew said, of like, oh, what about career arc? Career arc. It's the MVP of the 2024 season.
And then there was another woman. She's from Pittsburgh. She's a fucking Browns writer, and she's like, I called GMs around the league and asked them who I should vote for.
Yeah.
Well, clearly you're not a Ravens fan, so you write for a division rival. You're from a rival city. I'm sure you didn't call Eric DeCosta and ask who he says is the MVP. I'm sure you called fucking Mike Tomlin and I don't know, fucking Deshaun Watson and Jameis Winston and whoever the fuck else you talk to, and like, they didn't pick Lamar because Lamar kicked their fucking face in. But my problem with, if they had voted for, I would have more respect for Acho and Dan Orlovsky specifically if they voted Josh Allen as first team All-Pro and then voted him as MVP, because then you are being consistent. You are saying that Josh Allen's that
they both
good.
Did though. Those two did. So at least they were consistent.
They voted
Lamar
first team All-Pro.
Him and Orlovsky flip-flopped. They were two of the guys that had Lamar first team.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, so that's that was my issue.
Orlovsky admitted it on camera.
Yeah, Orlovsky said, I voted Lamar Jackson as first team All-Pro because he was the best quarterback in football. And then
voted for the second best quarterback to be the MVP?
Because his definition of value is retarded, I guess is what I'm getting to. Is that if you are the best quarterback in the NFL and you are putting up the best statistics at the most important position, you are inherently the most valuable player in the league. You cannot dispute that. It's faulty logic if you're trying to do anything else. And so what bothered me about Orlovsky, Acho, and that fucking Lindsay something name from The Ringer, specifically,
Lindsay Jones.
They're the three that flipped and spoke publicly about why they flipped. Well, I'd have more respect for you as a voter if you just stuck with you thought Josh Allen was the better player this year and was more deserving of MVP. Because you're now putting in bullshit narratives and your own non-quantifiable definition of value to give a guy an MVP award that in reality was not the most valuable player in the NFL this year. Honestly, like, I would have given it to Saquon deserved it more than Josh Allen, I think.
Well, by the logic it was awarded, so Lamar was still right there at the top, but yeah, Saquon, Patrick Mahomes easily could have been MVP.
I mean, traditionally, like the last 8 years, it's gone to a quarterback for the number one seed. So,
and quite frankly, Jaden Daniels could be a fucking MVP candidate at that point too. When you talk about, because it's the same players on the Commanders from last year to this year. They get Jaden Daniels, and suddenly they're in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah. So if you're going to, make up what you think is value, like, you can't then turn around and be like, oh, I'm being attacked. Like, you are, because your logic is fucking flawed. And I can't stand Bills fans either. I've run into maybe 5 in total that are like normal, rational human beings that are like, yeah, like our guy won, so I'm happy, but fuck it, that's why I'm happy. And they just admit that. But then you have like that dickwad, homeless Carabas is like tweeting out stats don't matter anymore. But you just spent the last fucking year talking about how stats are the only thing that mattered to you. And that like Lamar stole Josh Allen's 2023 MVP that he somehow deserved. But 49 of 50 voters gave it to Lamar. And now we're in a 27-23 race here. And we're raising questions on like 5 of the voters flipping. And you're like, oh, Ravens fans are sore losers and they're mad. It's like, no, it's fucking, we don't understand why they flipped. It's fucking stupid. They haven't given like a legitimate reason. At the end of the day, it's their vote. They can vote for whoever the fuck they want for. But like, they made the ballots public because, they wanted the discourse. Like, if they didn't want to make their ballots public, I don't think they had to. I don't think that was like a rule. I don't know if they've ever done that in the past. So, the whole fucking thing was just fucking stupid to me. Bills fans in general are just like inbred retards too.
Well, and like at the end of the day, even if it was the most deserved MVP ever, you're celebrating. You just lost the AFC Championship game, and the Chiefs are, again in the Super Bowl. So like, Bills fans, like, you're celebrating a fucking MVP award as if you won the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Get a fucking grip.
Nate
Get a
Geary,
fucking
grip. I forgot. So I brought together a sensitive retard Buffalo radio host, Nate Geary, and a noted war criminal, Ben Albright, together in their hatred of me. So I'm just bringing people together, but 2 fucking absolute losers. Nate Geary came in my DMs. I'm not going to post them because I'm not Jessica, the YouTuber that we don't like. I don't post DMs to try to spin things out of context, but essentially came to me with like, hey, man, like I get where you're coming from. I was a small account, a whole gross nonsense like that. And he's like, I should be able to take it if I dish it out. The morning after they won the MVP, he quoted me immediately and put some gay gif, and then went on fucking radio and complained that I was like mean to him once. And I'm like, buddy, your shares are trading for fucking 15.75 cents. Like, that's all I told you is to get a real fucking job after you came at me for no fucking reason. And then you want to cry about it. And then, yeah, Ben Albright. Ben Albright calling me a pathological liar is arguably the funniest tweet to ever exist. Like, that guy calling anybody.
Ben Albright pushed Middle Easterns to the brink of death in a fucking shipping container in the desert, and then blamed it on orders.
Ben Albright had so many fucking lies on his Twitter account that he pretended he got hacked by Russia and somebody was holding his account hostage for a Bitcoin, and then deleted all his tweets. Like, he claimed his grandfather fled Nazi Germany after trying to kill Hitler and then engineered the moon landing. If you put together the, like, he claimed he was like 25% Jewish and 25% Native American and 25% this, like, he's like a 487%, makes up all his like background, his ancestry DNA test. I mean, he claimed he went to all these fucking schools that just have no record of him being there. Just lie after lie. Claimed he grew up in Chicago, during the Jordan era, but like, he's a couple years older than me, so he would have been like, 4 or 5 years old, and he never even lived in Chicago at that point. So I mean, we're talking about a guy who just like spent years lying about who he was online, and he's like, oh yeah, Drew's a pathological liar, and he's also friends with a Klan member that we don't like either. So that's where most of that shit comes from. Is that they talk, they're best friends.
Who also invents her own reality.
Right. So I just got the fucking most whacked out morons in the world mad at me. I got Bills fans in my mentions. I could tweet like, hello, and I'd have 48 faceless accounts calling me, fat, sad loser because I said hello. I'm like, all right, you people are fucking weird. I got some fucking, UFC lightweight loser who has tweeted me 800 times. I finally got him to update his bio and take out Kobe Bryant quote and a false MMA record. I got so irritated with the amount of tweets that guy sent me that I Googled his name and figured out that he was lying about his UFC record. Like that's how fucking annoying these people are. I got some fucking, Disney tour guide up my ass every day that I tweet. I hate Bills fans. I want them nothing but misery for them. Josh Allen deserves better than you fucking losers supporting him.
That was my point too. Is someone said something to me, and I said, "Listen, Ravens fans don't hate Josh Allen. They just hate Bills fans and Josh Allen. Like dick riders."
Right. I hate you. I hate you, not Josh Allen.
Right. That was exactly my tweet. We hate you, definitely not Josh Allen. Josh Allen's really good, but
he's the
Josh
third
Allen
best quarterback in
and
the
Josh
NFL.
Allen. If you sat Josh Allen down, and you're like, listen, there's no cameras. You can admit it. Josh Allen did not deserve the MVP award over fucking Lamar Jackson. It's insane to say that he did. It's insane. Right. Torrey Smith said he was at the NFLPA Super Bowl party. So there's a lot of ex-players there, and every single player was shocked. Every single player was shocked. The players who know the game, played the game, because that's always that's the clapback to fans is, oh, you never played the game. Torrey Smith told you he was there. The players were shocked that Lamar Jackson didn't win. Now, that being said, I don't give a fuck. He's got 2. He has solidified himself. Everybody knows who Lamar Jackson is. So, like, Lamar Jackson could be the MVP every single year. That's the reality of the situation. The way he plays the game, he can be the MVP every fucking year. So, if you want to make it into a situation where, okay, we don't want to give the same guy the MVP every year, okay, that's fine. Now,
but that's stupid. It devalues the award, which is my entire
I agree. But the argument that Bills fans make just gets the legs get cut out.
The I think it was Scott, his last name starts with a K, I don't remember what the fuck it is, said Josh Allen's best claim to the MVP is that Patrick Mahomes, Kazmar said Josh Allen's best claim to the MVP is that Patrick Mahomes and Lamar are not sharing theirs, and I want one. And if Bills fans are capable of accepting that, and that's why he won the MVP, then fine, have at it. He won MVP, but he shouldn't have been the MVP. Just bottom line, end of the day, it doesn't make sense that he's MVP.
Yeah, agreed.
I feel like there's other topics that we have not.
We'll save them for next week.
Yeah, we'll save it for next week. We need things to discuss in the offseason anyway.
Probably not around next week, so I don't know if
we have a whole offseason to discuss things.
Including Grant's future BDSM lists and Grant's future Big Black Cock lists and everything. So
Grant's lucky he's not fucking here. He said that we should go sign Elijah Moore, and I was going to drive to his house and kill him. After I was just like, I don't want Hollywood Brown. I don't want fast midgets anymore. He's like, oh, Elijah Moore's available. Fuck you, Grant.
His response is similar to mine. And what
he plays big.
Specific.
He plays big.
Yeah, he plays big. Oh, he's a great route runner. Yeah, he's a fucking midget. I don't want the fucking Lollipop Guild out there lining up as our fucking wide receivers.
We're getting midgets, damn it. That is what we're doing.
Midgets
he's the same
Don't
size
be an ableist.
No, midget. Get him out.
Same size as Beckett.
Yeah, fucking Beckett probably wants Hollywood Brown. Actually, he does, but
yeah, fuck Hollywood Brown. If anything, give me Brandon Cooks, but that's only if I'm getting a short receiver. Otherwise, give me a bigger one. Need something different in that room. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this week. We'll be back to discussing this, that, and the other, among some more crazy shit during the off season. But meanwhile, it's time for me to die.
There's no Grant, so see ya.
See ya.